Welcome, everyone. We're really glad that you could be joining us here for our weekly workshop, marketing workshop. Before we get started, I want to make sure everyone can hear us okay. We've got Kelsey Wing on the line who'll be answering questions, and Whitney White should be joining us any minute now. You do a quick, housekeeping items. The first thing is making sure that you know how to interact with us. This is a workshop. This isn't just a webinar where we're speaking. We want to make sure that you can participate with us, that you can, make sure that you can participate, make sure that you can, ask questions, make comments, things like that. So I want everyone to go find the question or chat section of their GoToWebinar control panel. Click on that and just say something to us. Tell us where you're dialing in from. Are you working from home? Are your COVID restrictions completely lifted and life is back to normal? Or are you still completely in lockdown? We'd love to hear all about it. Looks like Wolfgang is on today, and he's calling in from Germany. Wow. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Glad you're here. Kristen in from Huntington Beach. Looks like Shannon is in Chesterfield, Missouri, and she is in the office today. Excellent. Mary is in Canada, and she says that we're in a circuit breaker. Awesome. Robert in Miami, welcome. Glad you're here. Freddie in Riverside, California. Ilan in Tel Aviv, Israel. Wow, we've got people from all over the world today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Doug in Baltimore, Stephanie in Bogota, and she says it's cold in Colombia today. That's excellent. Bethany in Seattle, Washington. Excellent. I missed that area. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining in. There's lots more people joining in. Santiago in Savannah, Georgia. Lots of others. So, everyone, again, welcome. Glad you're here today. Before we begin, I want to remind you of how you got here. This is the registration page for this webinar series. I want to put this link in the chat right now because I want everyone to have it, and I want you to find one person. Here's your homework assignment. I want you to find one person that you think would benefit from these webinars. One person that you think could really use either the recordings or participation in the webinar itself. And just as a kind of a sneak peek at what we've done and what we're doing next, on February 18th, we talked about the dealer portal's top 10 downloaded assets, digital assets. So it was a great session. You can find that recording here on our YouTube channel, and I'll put that link in the chat as well. So YouTube playlist. So feel free to go and watch any of these previous ones. We did a great session about images and photography. Kelsey led us in that and showed us about all the different photography that we have. We showed you how to use your phone and other devices to take new pictures. We had Madison Saab from Alarm.com join us in March for a workshop about builders and how to market to builders and what to do with builders. And then last week, Kelsey and a member of Alarm.com joined us for a conversation about websites. And we talked about how to change your website, how to even get a free website from Alarm.com. So a lot of great content in there. But that doesn't stop there. Today, we're going to talk about scripting. We're going to talk about video content next week. That's going to be a great session. We'll have our videographer, Jacob Scott, on the line, and he's going to show us what equipment he uses. We'll talk about how to make really professional grade videos. We'll talk about video content that we have that you can leverage. And we'll also share with you how we can basically, record new video and set up, how we do it and share our best practices. We're also going to talk on the first about empowering employees and how you can really turn your employees into great advocates and really, through a combination of training and incentives and things like that, building some great programs to get your employees working really, really well for you. We'll talk about displays on the 8th of April, how to build, maybe you want to do a showroom in your office, maybe you want to build, your front lobby to be a little bit better. Maybe you're helping a builder turn their, model home into something awesome. Or you just want a great demo for your employees, a demo room or something like that. So we'll talk about displays. On the 15th, we're going to talk about emails and talk about how to, use not only your existing customers, but also new customers and leverage email to communicate with them, and how you can use that to generate more business. And then in the spirit of generating more business, on the 22nd, we're going to talk about referral programs. That's going to be a great session where we talk about what's working, what's not. We're going to share a lot of best practices on that session, so you won't want to miss that one. And then on the 29th, we're going to talk about flyers, and Whitney's going to take us through how she builds a custom flyer. So there's going to be a lot of fun things. Kelsey will be in there as well, showing how she's customizing those flyers, many of you have asked for customized flyers, and Kelsey and her team does it. So we've got a lot of great people. They're going to help us out with each of these sessions. And again, we thank you for joining us in these sessions. Remember also that, when we record a session, we'll put it here on the YouTube playlist. You have the link in the chat. Please review those. Please share those with other people. And there is a survey at the end of each workshop that helps us understand what you're looking for, how well we did, and future workshops. These only go through, as I showed you, through the end of April, but then that starts season 2. And season 2 will have a whole new content. We've got lots of partners coming online and things like that. There's been a lot of interest in this. So again, thanks to everyone who's joining today and who's going to join in the future. Whitney, thanks for being on today. We're talking about scripting today. And this is something that comes up a lot. And scripting could be for voiceovers, for a video. Scripting could be for inbound and outbound sales, things like that. You've done a lot of scripting work in the past too. Tell us why scripting is so important.
Scripting's helpful. So I come from the call center world for a dealer. So I was raised on scripts, right? So we use them because it's helpful to direct people on how to lead a conversation and how to steer it the way you want it to go, if that makes sense. Ask the right questions. And it doesn't have to be verbatim. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people get hung up on, oh, I have to say this and only this, but that's not the case. You don't have to do that. It's just a suggestion, and it has to be genuine. So when you provide a script, it's here's where we want the conversation to go and how you phrase questions and how you ask questions to steer it the right way. But be sure that it's yours, right? You can't just hand them a script and say, okay, memorize it, have at it. That just won't be effective that way. So that's why.
No, it won't. In fact,
go ahead.
One of the things I want to do, and that leads us into our first poll question. That's perfect. I want to know from the audience today, what kinds of scripts are you using? And choose all that apply here. Maybe you have phone sales for inbound phone sales scripts. Maybe you need scripts or you're using scripts for outbound phone sales. Maybe you have door-to-door or in-person contacting. Maybe you get a referral and you go over to their house and you've got a script for a new salesperson to kind of help guide them to how they're going to talk to that person or engage with that customer. Maybe you use scripts to plan your website content. You say, hey, here's our general script of how we sell. Well, let's pattern the website after that as well so we can make sure that the buying process mirrors that of the in-person buying process. Or maybe there's something else completely. Maybe you're using scripts for something else completely. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat on, if you choose other. It looks like the majority of people are choosing inbound phone sales, and some people are also saying outbound phone sales and door-to-door in-person contacting. And well, it's about even. There is a few people putting other in there. And again, I'd love to hear what you put. What else kind of scripting you use? If you chose other, what is it? Freddie's just chatted in. He's a technical fly on the wall. It's always good to have our technical flies on the wall. They always keep us honest. There's lots of information that we sometimes share that sometimes we forget about the technical stuff. So Freddie, if we ever say anything that isn't technically accurate or affects the technical group in a negative way, please chime in. We appreciate you being here. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll. And I want to ask the next poll question, which is, what type of scripting do you use? And these fall into 3 different categories. Do you have rigid or verbatim scripts? In other words, you have to read this script exactly as it's written, and the only thing you can change is your voice, and we'll talk about how to do that today. Or do you have structured yet customizable scripts? Maybe you have, you've got generally a pattern of what you want to do, but if you want to say something here and there, you can. You can customize it to the situation, to the customer, but we really want that to be as structured as possible. Or maybe you're completely consultative. You literally just teach the principles, and then you let the sales rep, the outbound, representative, inbound representative, etc., just kind of do what makes best sense for them, and let them completely consult with the customer. Interesting results here. I'm going to go ahead and share these results publicly. I'm going to go ahead and close this poll, and it looks like, look at this, Whitney, this is very interesting. 62% have a structured yet customizable. 46% are completely consultative. Really interesting, really interesting. And only 8% are rigid or verbatim.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, working in the call center and things like that, just because once you have staff that understands processes and why they're set in place and what the goal is of the conversation, it can be consultative, right? You don't have to lay out every little nook and cranny of here's what you want to say, how you want to say it, use this tone, use this word. It's helpful, but I mean, especially when you're dealing with people who use filler words a lot and things like that, it's really helpful. And you can always tell, right?
In fact, some of the feedback we got from one of our previous workshops was, you said too much. I do. I have a tendency to say a lot. That's my filler word. And I think, the more you can get comfortable with your script, the less that you need those filler words. And that's why having a script can be so important. And, even if you only use it in the beginning, and then once you get comfortable with it, you can turn around and stop using it. But, eliminating those filler words in that dead space is a critical part of this process.
For sure.
I do have a question, final poll question for the audience, and that is, what are you most interested in learning about today? Again, choose all that apply here. Or do you want to know about how to write new scripts? Are you more interested in learning how to change or improve your current scripts? Maybe you want to learn how to teach your team to use the scripts you have. It's not about, actually getting the scripts, but it's about, hey, how do I get these scripts to be used? How to implement them? And then, the final option here, where to find scripting suggestions. Maybe you've got scripts that you need to use, you want to implement some stuff and improve it, but you don't know where to go for that stuff, and you need some content. And we've got some of that we can share with you. Great poll responses here. It looks like, and I'll go ahead and close the poll now and share the results. It looks like 38% of you are saying you want to write new scripts. That's good. And we've got some content that can help support that for sure. 69% of you, that's the majority, want to say, okay, I want to know how to change or improve my current scripts. Maybe you're using a script that's been effective for years, but as times change, technology changes, more devices that you are implementing into your security and smart home offering, how do I implement those into our current scripts? The next bucket down with where to find scripting suggestions, we'll definitely talk about that one today. And then finally, coming in fourth place with teaching your team to use the scripts you already have. So really appreciate everyone participating in the poll today. Let's jump right in with where to find scripting suggestions, because that's on our dealer portal. And if you don't have access to the dealer portal, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat, http://dealers.qualsys.com/register. I hope everyone already has access to the dealer portal. If you don't, then please feel free to register for a login, and Kelsey and her team will get you approved right away. That way you can get in here. So once you're logged into the dealer portal, first thing you're going to do is navigate over to the download section. And over downloads, you've got residential, commercial, builder. We've navigated through these, and I'm not going to take everyone through everything today. But under residential, okay, if I click on this, you'll see there's a variety of presentation materials. There's flyers. There's, links to the iOS and Android apps. There is, emulators, photography and branding, which we covered in a great webinar a couple weeks ago. Lots of video content, things like that. But right here under the presentation materials section, if you go past the flyers, you'll see several scripts. The first one is features and benefits scripting. Okay, this is great for those of you that said you just want to implement, and improve our current scripting. Maybe what you do is you take the features and benefits scripting and you see how you can implement some of these. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this and open it up. And you can see here, these are individual scripting suggestions, just little content blocks about each feature. Hey, this, it feels like your phone. This particular feature is talking about how the panel itself, the navigation of the panel is easy to use. It's very intuitive. And so you might implement it this way. You have a smartphone, right? What kind? Is it Apple or Android? It's a great question to ask. Always ask questions. Those really help engage your audience, right? Well, this panel, this IQ panel, feels just like your phone. Touch it to see something, swipe away to dismiss, swipe down on the screen to access volume and brightness adjustments. It's really easy and feels so familiar. Ask your installer to show you how you use, how to use it after he installs it, okay? So this is a nice assumptive close for this as well. So you're not just giving a feature and describing its benefits, but you're actually, giving some kind of close. And you're making an assumptive close. Hey, you're assuming here that the installer is going to install the system, and you're saying, hey, ask the installer to, show you how to use it.
One thing that I will add about features and benefits specifically, if you're looking to take your conversations to the next level, the way to do that is experience, right? You want to be able to draw on your own personal experience using these features and benefits. That's going to take your conversation from, I think I want to say this about Bluetooth touchless disarming, but when you have experience, you don't have to think about it. It doesn't come out the wrong way because it's a life story, if that makes sense. So if you're looking to take your conversations to the next level in this area, I highly suggest setting up some kind of employee program or getting everyone an IQ panel so that they can experience it a little bit. And then that's going to sell it, right? That's going to take it from, oh, this is really cool, it feels like your phone, to like, no, it feels like your phone. I had never used it before. Within 2 minutes, I was accessing settings, I was adjusting things. I did that. And it takes it from, people can tell, right, when it's a script versus
The
when it's a
authenticity.
genuine conversation. Yeah. So that's one thing I do want to add here.
No, I totally agree, Whitney, and I appreciate you mentioning that, because having someone who's a genuine advocate of the system because they use it, because they love it. And a lot, when I mention that to dealers, oftentimes the comment is, well, a lot of my employees are renting. Okay, great. I'm glad they are. That's great. There's lots of people in the world that are renting. There's nothing stopping you. I know that you might have a clause in your contract that says you won't contract with a renter for an end user, for a customer, but that doesn't stop you from taking a panel and putting it in one of your employees' homes on a table stand and saying, hey, I need you to get, confident with the system. I'll share a best practice there. This is going to be saved more for our employee engagement webinar that is going to be on April 1st. But one dealer we worked with had a great time taking and building a program where the employees earned their own system. Once you got so many sales, then you earned a panel for your own home. And then you got so many more sales and you earned, a set of security devices. And you got so many more sales and you earned a set of life safety devices and then Z-Wave devices and things like that. And their goal was to build out, a system in every single employee's home. But to help mitigate the cost, they did it as an incentive program, and it went really, really well. The employees loved it. They all became, tremendous brand advocates for the company and for the system. And that personal experience will make it into your scripting, just like Whitney said. To be able to say, to read here, if I'm reading, oh, the IQ panel includes a photo frame screensaver, so it kind of disguises itself when you're not using it. You can leave great pictures on there and that come with it, or if you want to add your own personal pictures, you can do that with a micro SD card. Or you could say, oh, dude, this thing's got a built-in photo frame. I love it. In fact, just the other day, I took a bunch of pictures because we went down to the national park in our area and we took a bunch of awesome pictures. I took all those pictures, loaded it on an SD card. I put it in the panel, and now whenever I walk by, I'm remembering the trip I went on. That feels so much different than this generic scripting. Now, this generic scripting can work, and a lot of it is about delivery. You can literally take almost any script and change how it's going to feel based on how you say it. You could say, the IQ panel includes a photo frame screensaver, so it kind of disguises itself when you're not using it. You can leave the great pictures on there that come with it, or if you want to add your own personal pictures, you put them on there using a micro SD card. Just ask your technician to help you to do that when he's there, okay? It sounds like I'm reading. Everyone's falling asleep right now, right? You can tell they're reading, okay? But the tone and pitch and the inflection that you put into it, you can make it sound like any scripting. I could leave this completely verbatim, and I could still sound like I'm just saying it. Oh, the IQ panel uses includes a photo frame screensaver, so it kind of disguises itself when you're not using it. You can leave the great pictures on there that come with it, or if you want to add your own personal pictures, you just put them on there with a micro SD card. Just ask your technician to help you to do that when he's there, okay? So how you deliver that script will determine the authenticity that comes with it. But like Whitney said, if you can have personal experience and you can say, hey, here's your guidelines. Think of it like roads, lines on a road. You can move into whichever lane you want, but here's your guidelines. He's giving you some lanes that you can move in, and these will help you with that, okay? So a lot of great features in here: Bluetooth disarming, encryption, LTE, panel camera, built-in glass break detector, the mobile app, Amazon Echo integration, software updates, geofencing. The list goes on and on. There's lots and lots in here. So that is the features scripting, features and benefits. But we also have several others: outbound sales script, inbound sales script, and in-person sales script. Many of you, let me go back to the poll question just to look at it. When we asked what kind of scripts you use, 50% of you said inbound phone sales scripts. So let's look at that one right now. And I love this inbound phone sales script because it really does a good job of, building up the value of what we're doing. So here you go, hey there, this is, Jeremy in the sales department. Is this Whitney? How are you doing today? Did so-and-so previous previous rep take good care of you? This is an assuming that you're introducing them from a transfer. So these are those situations where, especially for your LTE upgrade programs, imagine they're calling in for a billing question or tech support or something like that. And the person on that line says, hey, I noticed you're eligible for an upgrade. Let me transfer you to the sales department. Well, when they transfer to the sales department, here's the salesperson's first response. Oh, this is Jeremy in the sales department. Did, Whitney take good care of you? Respond to the problem. Well, I've got your account pulled up and it says you've been a customer for 5 years and you currently have the 2 gig GC3 or GC2. Is that right? Okay. Well, I still show your system is still using, 3G cellular. Are you maintaining your landline, for a security system? Could you save some time and money if you cancel that? So nice little if landline, mark. Well, we're doing a nationwide program to move all our customers to our LTE cellular systems with the latest in encrypted sensor technology. We partner with the industry's leading interactive service provider, Alarm.com. You get access to a beautiful, easy-to-use app that allows you to control your home from anywhere. We're also replacing your keypad with a beautiful state-of-the-art 7-inch touchscreen with a built-in 5-megapixel camera. The system is great. The camera texts you pictures when someone disarms the panel, and it's got Bluetooth touchless disarming. So when you get home, you just leave your phone in your pocket, and the system disarms itself. You got a smartphone, right? What kind of phone do you have? And again, you're engaging them in those conversations, and then you can start talking about pricing and scheduling. I would never assume that this script is one that you would just use verbatim. My hope and belief is that you're going to take this script and say, what's our situation? And as you read it, you say, well, we're not doing an introduction from transfer, so therefore don't use that piece. Well, we're not doing a nationwide program to do all this, so let's change it to say this instead. Oh, well, maybe, they already have Alarm.com, so we don't need to talk about partnering with Alarm.com here, because what we'll do, we'll say instead is, it will still use the same Alarm.com platform that you know and love, same mobile app. You don't have to do anything, something like that. So as you take this script and you tweak it and you change it, it will then fit your particular situation. Similarly, and many of you, I think it was 31% said that you use outbound phone sales scripts. I want to show you this one because this is one I particularly love, because this is a very consultative script. And many of you were admitting that, you use loose scripts with some direction and some customization. Many of you are also using a completely consultative pattern. This could be that. So depending on why they're calling, why you're calling, whether it's, website affiliate, maybe you were referred by a plumber or by a realtor or by an insurance company or things like that. Or maybe it's just a cold call. Here's a nice little introduction for you. Okay. Then we want to make a nice little way of just taking the pressure off the sale. And again, these are, suggestions. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm not looking to pressure you into making a purchase today. I just want to make sure you have all your questions answered so you're ready to make your home safer, energy efficient, more convenient, and you have the information to do so. Every home and situation is different. We find most people have questions about the products and services and would rather have a customized solution that fits their needs rather than some cookie cutter product purchased blindly off the internet. So I want to ask you a few questions, okay? Get them to agree with you. It's important to gain their agreement, have them saying yes to you on a regular basis, okay? So here's a whole bunch of questions. And the way I do scripting is I like to ask a lot of questions, but I don't want you to ask a question and then immediately try and sell them. Ask all your questions first. Think of it as phases. If you're going to build a script, especially a consultative one, ask all your questions first and then say, based on your answers, I'm going to respond to the things that matter to you. And you'll have multiple things that matter based on the question. And here's, again, some suggested questions. Yeah, I got to work on my enunciation. First off, where are you located? You want to make sure they qualify. Is that a house or apartment? How many exterior doors do you have? Which one do you usually use to come and go? Do you have a garage? Do you have any security system currently? And if they say yes, then tell me about it. Is it working? How often do you use it? Do you arm it at night when you're at work? What do you like about it? What do you dislike? You really want to get them talking about their current situation, right? What does your panel look like? Is it rubber buttons or does it have a touchscreen? Where is it installed? Do you just have one keypad? What sensors do you have? Do you know if they're hardwired or wireless? Do you have any cameras? Do you have a mobile app for your smart home? What can you do with it? Do you like using it? Are you currently being monitored? If so, by who? How much are you paying per month? Are you currently under a contract? Do you have a landline phone? Are you maintaining that landline just for your security system? This question right here is one that I love probably the most out of all of them. What would you say is more important to you? Home security, life safety, convenience, or saving energy? The reason I love this question is for a couple reasons. Number one, it's multiple choice. It doesn't matter which option they choose. This is a great selling angle for you. They might choose multiple options. Oh, well, I really want home security and life safety. Or I'm really interested in convenience, but I also want it to be secure. This is getting them to admit that they're interested in this solution. Chances are they're going to choose one of these options or give you some version of this and have a consultative conversation with you, okay? Now, there's some additional questions you might choose to ask. Do you live alone or other people in the home? Do you have teenagers, school-age kids? What kind of smartphone do you have? Do you have any voice control devices like an Amazon Echo or Google Home? And then based on that, this scripting, you kind of thank them for answering the questions. And then this script directs them. If they said security, then it actually shows you, here's the things that are most pertinent for a security-minded person. You mentioned security is important. I couldn't agree more. Even people in the safest neighborhoods hear stories of break-in. There's no better way to keep your home and family safe. Security technology has advanced a lot to combat hackers and today's security threats. The system we use looks like a tablet on your wall, and it's packed with security-specific features like we use the latest in encrypted wireless technology for your sensors. It is a built-in camera to capture disarm photos, and it goes through, security-specific features, Bluetooth disarming, LT and Wi-Fi dual path, smart notifications, a smart lock to lock and unlock your door, and then we even make a suggested package of an IQ Panel 2, an IQ Mini sensor for each exterior door, an IQ Motion, a Skybell, and a smart lock, okay? Now, if they said life safety was interesting to them, here's the same, similar script based on that with a suggested package of devices. Same thing for convenience, okay? And you're talking about things like the mobile app and the touch screen and Bluetooth disarming and, answering the door with the video doorbell or smart locks or live view or voice control, okay? And here's your, suggested package. Here's, if they say saving energy, now we're talking about smart thermostats and, door window left open notifications and, automatic adjustment of thermostats, things like that, smart lighting. So as you look through here, then you can go to the make an offer section. If they already have an existing system, then you say, well, since you've already invested in a secure system, we'll try and reuse those sensors, and here you go. If it's a brand new system, then it's, well, since you don't have a system, we're going to set you up with all the latest wireless technology. Here we go. And then you can introduce the pricing for existing brand new system or even a current customer. So very flexible. I'm very proud of this script. I think it's done very, very well. We've helped a lot of dealers customize it to their own needs and things like that. Those of you in the chat, looks like several people are saying, hey, where can I download this stuff? Where can I see it? Again, this is within the dealers.qualsys.com website. If you go here to scripting, you can view the script by clicking on the thumbnail, or if you want to download the PDF of the script, click on this little the text button right here. So if I click here, it's going to download the file, and then I can copy and paste that text into my Word document or whatever I'm using and really go into detail on that. Remember, please also put any questions you have if this is making sense to you, if you've got any concerns, or maybe you want to see how you can do this kind of stuff more specifically, put that in the chat so we can address those. I also want to show you our in-person sales script, because this is another good one. Many of you say you're using door-to-door selling, things like that. I really love this script because it's a very, very easy. This is good for a home show. It's good for door-to-door. It's good for retail. It's a very easy, comfortable, no pressure type sale. So, hey, come here. I want to show you something. Check out this app. This is my house. And this is going back to what Whitney said a second ago. She's like, if you have your own system, then think about how you can show this off with the personal stories and not just the generic one. But you could do this with an alarm.com demo system as well. Hey, check this out. I want to show you. This is my house. See, look at this. And I pull up my alarm.com app. I can see my garage doors closed. I can see my thermostat set to 72. Here's my video doorbell. Watch this. See this? Oh, look. If you were on my front porch, we'd be having this conversation. I could use this button, unlock the door, and you could come right in, okay? I am connected to everything. I can see if my doors and windows are open or closed. I can use my cameras to see the different rooms in my house. I get all that same access on my watch, on my iPad, or from any computer. Pretty cool, right? Well, we're the company to help you customize your home into a smart, safe home, and it all starts with this, the IQ panel, and you pull up the IQ panel and show it to them. You got to admit, it would look pretty nice on your wall, and you could use the die-cut flyer. Go here to this and click on die cut flyer. Okay, you could use and print out the die cut flyer if you want. We can sell those in our marketing store up here if you wanted to buy a pack of them. I go to shop. Oh, there it was right there. Click on distributor locator. There they are right there. You could buy a pack of die cuts for $25. But if you just wanted to print them out, you can print it out for free. And it will be, oh, my computer, I must be clicking like crazy. Look at me, going all over the place. And you can download it for free right here. So imagine you're using this die cut flyer, okay? And you say, you know, it looks like this. It would look really, really great on the wall. You got to admit it, or on your kitchen counter. You know, it's got a built-in camera, takes photos when someone disarms it, sends it right to your phone via text or email. Just imagine knowing who comes into your house, you know, and when, no matter where you are. And I can get that picture on my phone. I can get it on my watch, etc. When I'm not using it, the panel turns into a photo frame. I can use an SD card to put my own photos on it, or it displays today's weather on the screen. Makes it even easier to start my day. Want to see a 4-day forecast? Touch here. Go ahead and do it. And you could show and use the emulator. So again, pointing you to sales tools. Okay, you can use the iOS app or the Android app emulator on your mobile device if you don't have an actual panel in your demo area to show them, well, go ahead and touch it. Go ahead and try it. And they can do that. Okay. So again, you know, I don't want to take you through the whole entire script, but you can see here, here's a great way to ask questions and have a consultative thing, talk about life safety, smart home devices, things like that. So, you know, customize this script as much as you want. You know, take it, download it, use it, read it, try it out. We believe it's going to help out a lot. And even if it doesn't, you know, then hopefully it just at least gives you an idea of what you might, even if you don't follow it completely, gives you an idea of where you might want to go. Let's take a look and see if there's any questions in the chat. It doesn't look like there are. We're running close to the end of our time. Whitney, what do you think? You've shared a lot of these scripts with a lot of people. In fact, go ahead.
I have a question. So on the polls that we did earlier, people were asking how they wanted, or saying that they wanted to change their current scripting. So how would they take the scripts that we've provided and meld it with what they already have? What would you suggest that process kind of looks like?
Really good question. Really good question. So the first thing I would do is download these scripts. Okay. Download, you know, so let's say it's an outbound sale. Okay. And you go to your outbound sales script, you download this and read it. And as you know, print it out if that helps. Print it out and get your highlighter. And I want you to highlight things that like, oh, I really like the way the script says this. I really like the way this question. I really like things like that. Start by highlighting things you like about this script. Then go to your existing script and say, okay, looking at the things I highlighted, where could I squeeze these in? I really love this question. That's going to go in the question section. So let me put that in here. I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the other questions we're asking. You know, and maybe now that I'm asking that question, these other questions aren't as relevant, so I'm going to remove those out. Okay. Now I'm going to get to the part of the script where I'm presenting. Well, I really like the way this particular one, the security, you know, presented it, and this. I really like this Bluetooth touchless disarming portion of it. Let's say you highlighted that. I really like that. So I'm just going to take that whole paragraph and I'm going to put that into the right spot. Okay. Oh, I really liked how the panel was introduced and talking about the built-in camera. So I'm going to take that and put that earlier. I'm going to slide that in there too. And I'm going to say that instead of talking about the round-the-clock monitoring, because I know everybody has that. And, you know, I'm going to move that round-the-clock monitoring piece further down because this is a differentiator. And that's what that differentiator word is a critical one. To me, I think if I'm going to go sell, whether it's an inbound sale, an outbound sale, in-person, home show, whatever, if I'm going to go sell, the first thing I would encourage you to do is to focus on your differentiators. Focus on the things that make you different from your competition. And you guys know who your competition is. You know, whether it's, you know, a local company or a big national company or a DIY online type company, you know who your competition is. Look at how they're selling. And if you're focusing on the same features and benefits they are, you're missing out on an opportunity to capture attention. Because what's going to happen then is they're going to only be focusing on price. Your end user is going to look at you and be like, well, they both have round-the-clock monitoring. They both say they're reliable. They both have the latest in technology. They all check the boxes, so I guess I'll just go with the cheaper one. You know, instead, if you're focusing on things, so let's say you're going up against Simply Safe, and that's the company that, you know, seems to be stealing all of your customers, or you lose a lot of customer opportunities too. So what are things Simply Safe doesn't have? Well, it doesn't have a 7-inch touchscreen. It doesn't have a built-in panel camera. It doesn't have Bluetooth touchless disarming. It doesn't have LTE and Wi-Fi dual path connectivity. It doesn't have live view video doorbell on the 7-inch touchscreen. It doesn't have So go through and look at the things that it does and doesn't have and put those at the top of your script. Okay. You might still want to introduce and talk about round the clock monitoring. You might still want to have a conversation about the reliability of your company and how long you've been around and things like that. But if you focus on those differentiators, then when the customer is listening to you, and generally they're going to listen the most in the beginning, okay, depending on how you present, then when the customer is listening to you, they're going to capture those things. And when they go back over to the SimpliSafe site to say, well, maybe I should still look at them. Oh, they don't have Bluetooth. Oh, they don't have the built-in camera. Oh, they don't have live view. Oh, they only have, they don't have LTE and Wi-Fi dual pass. Man, there's a lot of things these guys don't have. And now I'm feeling like I want those. I'm feeling like those are important to me because that sales rep did a good job of explaining how they work. And again, you can use this scripting that we've shared today as an example of that. So great question, Whitney. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, one thing I would want to add to that is I did inbound sales and I did customer retention. I'm not a salesperson. I've never been a salesperson. It's not someone I aspire to be. I don't have it in me. I don't have that grit, you know what I mean? But I will say that what changed my conversations the most when it came to helping people understand that this is a viable solution for them is asking questions. And even when talking to dealers now, it's really helpful because it's help me understand your situation, help me understand your home, help me understand where you feel the vulnerable spots are, help me understand how you want your home to be. You see all these smart homes, you see all these convenient, energy efficient homes. Does that even appeal to you? Because if not, we're not even going to talk about it. But if you tell me that you have a problem, I'm going to tell you a solution and I'm going to tell you why we're the best at it. Because look at the script, right? You can just pick and choose. You don't have to
I
talk
absolutely
about
agree. And again, be really careful that you don't do this. Okay, this is, and we're going to end here because I know we're over time, but I want to just be careful. You don't say, okay, where are you located? Oh, well, I'm in, Orem, Utah. Oh, well, we serve Orem, Utah. Okay. And is that a house or apartment? Well, it's a house. Oh, yeah, we can do houses. Oh, how many exterior doors do you have? Well, I've got, 3. Oh, you got 3? Yeah, we could do 3 door sensors on each of those. If after every time they ask a question, you try and sell them on something, you're going to scare them away. You're going to scare them away because they're thinking this person's not interested in understanding my situation. They're just interested in selling something to me. So ask all your questions first, just like Whitney said, make it a very consultative approach so that you can, have a conversation with them. And then based on this, as you ask all these different questions, you might have a really good answer for, integrating with an existing security system or having home security being important to them.
Yeah, and when you help the customer identify their need and why this was valuable to them, they can't deny your solution. So now it's, well, I really want my home to be secured. I've got SimpliSafe and I've got, the IQ panel. How do I weigh these 2 options? Well, it's easy. When we talk about our security features and that's your biggest hang up, we've got a list and SimpliSafe has 3 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the decision's yours, customer. You're like, I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to do it, but here's the facts. And that's what changed. Our retention team, our customer attrition increased by 12% by using that in less than a year. It was highly effective. And for me, I'm converted to that approach 100%. I've never talked to somebody where it's just a conversation and I hear your problems and I can empathize with them and I can tell you how this is an option for you should you choose to use it. So,
Thank you very much, Whitney.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I totally appreciate it. And that personal experience I know resonates well with you. And it's the same for me. I've had multiple times where we've had to write scripts, build scripts, even use scripts myself. And so a lot of these scripts, as we've written them as a team and presented them, come from best practices from you, come from our experience. And we hope that it's effective for you. If you have other ideas or you want more support, email smartsecurity@jci.com. I'm going to put that email address in the chat. So you can email us if you need anything at all. Hopefully this was beneficial to you. Again, don't forget, next week we're going to be talking about video, and we're going to have a great special guest on, our videographer, Jacob Scott, who's going to help us understand what he uses as a professional, and then I'll show you some really cool quick tips you can do with your smartphone, and we'll show you where you can access the video content we have. Please stay on the line for just a minute. We have a quick poll or quick survey that we'd like you to fill out on how we did today. We hope this was beneficial to you. Thank you, everyone, for joining today, and we truly hope that you join us next week and all the subsequent weeks. And don't forget, you can always go back and watch these previous sessions on our YouTube playlist for these marketing workshops. Thank you, everyone. And Whitney, thank you especially for joining today. I know that was short notice, but I really appreciate your insight and your participation today.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.